Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, Talk Tuesday. I know I missed last week's video. I got discombobulated about the days because we had the Monday off for Canada Day, and then by the time I remembered, it was like Thursday, and I'm like, what do I do on a Thursday? Like Talk Tuesday, Walk Wednesday, what is Thursday? It broke my brain. So I was like, whatever, I will just do next week. So I took a week off. But we're back. We're at the straight road. And to be clear, I took a week off videos, not off walk. If you guys are following us on the Instagrams, you would have seen the photos that I post every day. Well, Mondays through Thursdays, and sometimes some bonus content when I'm boarding on weekends. But yeah, so we're here, straight road. It's kind of warm, like it's more muggy. I don't know, again, depending on where you're watching this from. If you're watching from Ottawa, you know what I'm talking about. Stupid humidity. But because it's overcast, it's nice enough, and we've gotten lots of rain, so right here you'll see they go for water. So I'm still pretty confident walking them here. Honestly, only because it was overcast. If it wasn't overcast, it would be a different issue. Where's... God. Fly. Tucker! You need to get some water. You too, Newton. Get some water. Newton, go get some water. Good boy. Go get some water. So I generally make sure my guys that don't handle heat well go in, and then let everybody else choose. That's gross, Bailey. Sorry about those sounds. Anyway, okay, so 2 minutes in. Still haven't had a head count or introduced anybody. So head count, I've got 10 today. Not very many. I would have had 12, but Rowan and Rory are at my place because I have a lunch meeting. So they'll get a separate walk with Kronk later today. Plus it's baseball day, which means they get to come and help me scorekeep a double header every Tuesday. So we try to go a little early, do a walk, do the scorekeeping, and then I throw the ball for Kronk a bunch after. Tire him out. Kids, today. So yeah, who do we have? We've got Archie and Willow in the front there. We've got Arosa, Bailey, Stella, and Newton. Quit eating the grass. We've got Cosmo, Tucker, Hamish, Willow, whatever it is, no. Oh, that's an annoying sound. Hold on, Bay. So Bailey, you might notice, is on a long line. Yeah, you. Okay. And the reason for that is she decided to tell me that she didn't know what recall was. And so we'll be on long line probably until the end of next week, and then we'll try again. Now, in the end, like, when I say she was trying to convince me she didn't know what recall was, it was I recalled her, and she looked at me, and she would be like, so say from where I'm standing to that red shrub, and she would sit, but she wouldn't get any closer. And, like, for me, recall is you're close enough that I can touch you. And if you're not going to get that close, that's not a recall. So we had a conversation, and we had to do a song and dance to get her close enough to me. And then that day, when she was close enough, she just got attached to me for the rest of the walk. And then we went on long line. And Bailey is one of those dogs, like, she's a potcake, a street dog. Very, very, very intelligent, and definitely understands, like, some dogs don't get consequences. Like, they don't understand even this. Being on a long line for Bailey. Being on a long line for not recalling. Like, to them, it's just a cycle through of the drills again. But Bailey knows. She knows. And I don't even really have to do much training with her on the long line. Just having it is... Willow! Thank you. It's almost like it's a shameful thing for her, if that makes sense. She doesn't like having it on, which is fair. I mean, it's heavy, right? Not like super heavy, but it's an irritant. It certainly doesn't slow her down, as you can see, but it just sort of gives her the, okay, well, if you're not gonna meet me halfway here, then things have to change. So that's what we're doing with her, and she'll be fine. It's not the first time we've been through the cycle. It's probably not going to be the last. Like, dogs mess up. That's just dogs. And then you just start over, start from the beginning, go through all the training steps again. I see. Whoa. Tucker. Today, my guy. I'm coming. So you can see, though, even though it is overcast, and we're taking it slow, like I am not walking very fast, not only for them, but also for me. When they start to crowd around me, like about half of them were doing it, but I really want to make it to the next water and then I'll turn around. But they're letting me know that, like, okay, we're done. Like, and it's one of the important, Nova. It's one of the important things. Arosa, you are not going in that mud, let me tell you. Thank you. I sort of lost track. Oh, it's one of the things I think is sort of rough as a dog owner is learning to listen to them. Like, some people would say, oh, my dog is sitting and they don't want to walk any further, and that's because they're stubborn. It's like, okay. But we could also look into, like, why that's Nova on the run. It's so funny when she gets into zoomy mode because she's not the most graceful of retrievers, we'll say. Bailey, out. Out. Thank you. Willow, you're also not going in that mud. I do not want that smell in my vehicle today. Thank you. Bailey, take a hint. So my question when I have a dog that does that is like, why are they doing it? Can I figure out why? And not just because they're stubborn. Like, that's not a reason. There's the second water, so we'll turn around shortly if they group around me again. And like, sometimes it can be joint pain. It can be a whole host of things. It can be they're just too hot. They don't want to go any further. And that's okay. So we should be listening to that and being like, okay, we'll try to go further tomorrow, but for today, we'll go on home. We'll do something different. Keeping in mind, like, not all dogs are dog park dogs. Not all dogs are fetch dogs. Like, you really need to sort of figure out what your dogs are into. And if there's a severe behavior shift too, like, take your dog to the vet because there's something wrong. That's sort of something we went through with Kronk, is he was hurt, and then when I took him back on pack walk, his personality was different. He wasn't acting the same. He was more defensive. He didn't want the dogs around him, which, if you guys have seen previous videos of Kronk, like, that's not who he is. Nova, you're not sneaky. We're coming, Willow. And so we took him back to the vet and just said, look, something is happening here. Like, I don't know what it is, but we need to find it. And we did, in fact, find that he had something else that we needed to address. And are still addressing. And then when I do have him on pack walk, depending on who I have in the walk, he's on leash with me. And that's just because we want to work past everything that he's gone through. And if he's still even in a little bit of pain, and dogs are, well, can be, you can have some very dramatic dogs that will show you everything. And honestly, it may seem a pain in the butt, but thank your lucky stars you have that, because most dogs, most animals are designed to hide when they're not feeling well. right? Because generally speaking, if you're not feeling well, you are the weakest link. Away you go. But domesticated dogs, a little bit different, obviously. We want them to tell us when they're not feeling good. So if you do see a personality shift in your dog like that, like definitely, even if you're not really sure what's going on, take them into the vet, tell them about the personality shift, tell them about the things that are different, and just see, because usually it's the first indication. A really good example of this is my first dog, Bouvier de Flandre. Okay, so large, looks like May. If you guys have seen May, getting yelled at by a raptor, dude. See, so you can see I've got sort of a, but they're still going out in front of me, so maybe we can do the whole stretch today. Good boy, Chuck. So we we had a love seat that was like his love seat in the living room because he was just too big to be like anywhere else. And he got off that love seat one day and he gave a little yelp and then continued on. No limping, no nothing, just a little yelp as he got off the love seat. And we were all like, that's not right. So we took him into the vet, got x-rays done. Turns out his hip joint, so a hip joint is like a ball, right? A ball in a socket. There wasn't really anything there other than a bone sliver the size of my pinky. And like, who knows when that happened? We did tons of dog sports with him. I did agility with him. I did obedience with him. We tried all sorts of things. It's my first dog, right? So I was going to do all the things. He could have injured himself anywhere and he just never let us know. And it got to the point where it was just that bone sliver. Like, that's crazy to me. A human would never be able to do that. Anyway, so he ended up having surgery and we did sort of not an experimental surgery, but a newer surgery. Instead of replacing the whole joint, we wrapped the muscle a different way, and it was, it ended up well. He lived until he was 14, which for a Bouvier is insanity. But the point being is that little yelp, and we took him in right away. And it was something that severe. So if you do notice a behavior shift like that, like if your dog is consistently sitting and not going forward on walk, it's a good idea to get them checked out by a vet. Now, if you have a puppy or something, that's a little different. They could be trying to tell you that it's just too much exercise. Puppies need a lot less exercise than one would think, truly. And hey, Mish. That was a hard no. Good girl, Rosa. Being a pestermite. I'm just gonna start calling you Rowan. Archie, do not start this. Anyways, they could be telling you that they just don't need that much exercise. Puppies need to sleep anywhere between 16 and 18 hours a day, right? So it could be you're just pushing too much and they're trying to tell you that. They're not just quote unquote being stubborn. And it's just a matter of sort of figuring out, and don't get me wrong, it's not easy sometimes. Tucker, you can come all the way with me. Thank you. Come here. Tucker. Thank you. Away we go. I've been trying to work on... Hey! Willow! Hard no! You know better. I've been trying to work on that with them. Because some of them are getting very anticipatory, and that's just not my jam. Good boy. Tucker's like, excuse you. Willow and a Rosa. Thank you. But one day, that's going to be my Mutt Butt Monday photo. One day. We'll get there. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, on the Instagrams, the Stride Instagram, the Monday photos are Mutt Butt Mondays. Oh. It's not often you see those two play, because if I have Rowan, I mean, you guys have seen tons of that, Rowan and Bailey chaos. That's funny. Anyways, I've totally forgotten what I was talking about. I think just behavior shifts, go to the vet, listen to your dog. And it can definitely be challenging, especially if you're not like super bonded or connected with your dog, which can happen. Like, different people have different levels of relationship. Bailey, thank you, with their dogs. So sometimes it's harder, but yeah. Okay, well, I think I've babbled on long enough. Hope you guys have had fun coming along with us. As per always, if you have any questions, you know what to do. If you have a second to like, comment, and subscribe, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Yeah. I hope you guys are having as much fun as your dogs are. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.